How's it going? It's Nick here with Mechanic Built, and today I am going to show you guys how to pretty much wash your car. Well, I'll tell you one thing. There are a ton of videos out there on the internet that tell you how to wash your car, and it can be pretty confusing. Now, in this video, I'm just going to show you how I normally do it. I've actually taken a lot of advice from actual detailers to watching videos on the internet also. But in this video, I just want to show you guys basically how I do a maintenance wash. Again, this vehicle that you see here, it's already been detailed, and we're just removing the grime and basically doing a maintenance wash per se. Now I'm going to go over the basic things that you need for a basic wash. Is one, a pressure washer, and I'll talk about this handle more later in the video. Moving on, we got some basic soaps that you could just use, one that preferably doesn't strip any waxes or ceramics, a foam cannon gun, foam cannon soap, and if you have one, definitely use a leaf blower. Do you need one? No, but a couple good microfibers, especially some large ones, will definitely help. And lastly, we are going to be using the 2-bucket method here, so definitely find yourself a good wash mitt. I believe I found this one in O'Reilly's, but you could order some on Amazon, and I'll post some links to some really good reviewed wash mitts. Now, one thing I want to point out too, that this is a Superior product, and the thing is, you might have heard of Superior products or you might have not. You could honestly pick this up on Amazon, or you could go to your local O'Reilly's. This company doesn't really advertise because they make a lot of soap for major brand companies you hear out there. This stuff is really affordable and it works really well. I think this sucker was like 25, 30 bucks just for a gallon. And then this, figured that instead of buying a name brand, I bought this weird ditch chin blowing fluid. Yeah, this sucker I've almost had for 6 years. The only issue I've had with it was a leak, and I put a little bit more Teflon tape right there where the fitting is, and everything is fine and dandy. One, I don't really use Five Guys products. This is my brother's bucket. I have this microfiber mitt that I'll be using, and then I'm going to be filling my second bucket with straight water. Now, lastly, if you're also curious how to dress when washing a car, well, keep it simple. Usually right here in the belly area, you don't want to have any crazy graphic design. You just want a plain t-shirt, wear short. Don't wear any jeans where there's buttons that could possibly scratch your car. Again, this is just a maintenance wash. Nothing too crazy we're going to be doing except just washing the car. Get the grime and dirt off of it. Ceramic coat has done its job in order to pretty much protect the paint. All we're doing is washing the dirt off the top of our ceramic coat. One thing too I forgot to mention is also get this grit guard for your wash bucket. That's definitely going to help from preventing dirt catching onto your wash mitt. Again, I'll post a link in below. So here we are rinsing off the vehicle. Now with your vehicle, as you guys can see, I'd like to start from top to bottom and try to take my time rinsing off any loose dirt and debris that I can with my pressure washer. Now this is a good time to talk about that little wand attached to my pressure washer. This I like quite a bit just because you have a lot more control, and not only that, you don't have a 3-foot water pressure gun that might possibly accidentally hit the paint. Now with this short gun, I can actually focus cleaning the bottom of the vehicle, and if I need to, I could focus cleaning the rubber and the wheels themselves. One thing I'd like to note too is your choice of nozzle on your pressure washer. Here I got a 25-degree fan spread on my pressure washer gun. This allows me to essentially get close without worrying about stripping off any of the paint or damaging any of the plastics on my vehicle. With that nozzle being set on my gun, as you can see here, I focus quite a bit on my front bumper. Reason for that being is I'd like to use the pressure washer to take off any road grime or bugs in the front rather than using a harsh chemical like a bug and tar remover that might possibly strip my ceramic coating. Another thing I'd like to note, if you are washing in the direct sunlight, unlike today which was a really nice day and it wasn't so hot, if you live in an area where it gets kind of hot, just make sure you keep your vehicle nice and wet. Reason for that being is that we don't want any unwanted water spots on our paint. Okay, for the foam cannon soap, I did 400 milliliters of soap. If you could get away with like 200 or 300, I just like doing 400 because I like the extra suds. And then I just filled it all the way up to the top here. So now let's just foam cannon the car. Now I'd always like to double check and make sure my quick connects are connected. I don't want to accidentally chuck the foam cannon to the car. And with this foam cannon, you can notice here too that the spread is adjustable, so I could change the fan spread. This might just be ingrained in me, but I always like to start from top to bottom. There's really no wrong way to foam cannon a car other than just to get the whole thing covered. So why foam cannon the vehicle? Well, this process essentially soaks up any of the dirt that's still stuck on after the rinsing process, and the whole goal is to remove as much dirt as we can before actually putting a wash mitt on the body of the car. Here I have a diagram kind of showing what I'm talking about. All the contaminants, bugs, and stains are on the top level, and what we want to prevent is swirls cutting into our clear coat essentially. Now I got the whole entire car covered in the foam cannon soap, and what I basically want to do is let it soak. Do mind that depending on the temperature you're in, if you're in the shade, you don't want your foam cannon suds to pretty much dry up. So in this current video, I soaked it about 5 minutes. Allowing the foam cannon soap to basically soak onto the clear coat and pull away the contaminants is what I'm looking for. And right after this, we'll go right into rinsing the vehicle again. As you can see, I started rinsing the vehicle from top to bottom. Now the reason for that being is not only I want to get rid of all the foam cannon soap, any of the contaminants that are on my paint I want to also remove and take the time in removing. I'm not trying to remove the soap as fast as possible, and I'm just taking my time rinsing it from top to bottom. Now, since we got it rinsed off, as you can see here, I am applying another layer of foam cannon soap. And reason for this being is we are going to be using our wash mitt. Now, I don't apply pressure while using a wash mitt on the body of the vehicle. The reason why for the extra foam cannon layer is to basically use it as a detergent to clean off any of the dirt off the body of the vehicle. There are 100 ways online to pretty much tell you how to use a wash mitt on a vehicle, but this has always worked for me and I've never left any swirl marks. Let me tell you how I use the wash mitt. I always start with one side of the vehicle, starting from the top, and I work my way down in sections. Another thing to really note that you really can't tell in the video is that I am just using the gravity and the weight of the wash mitt to do the work. I do not muscle the wash mitt whatsoever onto the vehicle because that can lead to swirls. In summary, all I'm really doing is dragging a wash mitt over the body of my vehicle. When I do flip my mitt is to go to another section of the vehicle. I like to treat the bottom half of the vehicle pretty much from the door handles and below in quarters. Some people like to go top to bottom. I just like to make sure I go over with my wash mitt on the vehicle as lightly as I can so the wash mitt can collect all the dirt and grime. Once that's done, I will go to my wash bucket and give my mitt a good scrub. As you can see here, I'm kind of wringing it out because I want to make sure all my contaminants are off. When the wash mitt doesn't feel soapy, once wringing it out a few times, I'll then go into my soap bucket and start on another section. And once I'm done running my wash mitt, I'll go ahead and scrub my wheels and tires. For the back of the vehicle, I'll go ahead and pre-soak it with the foam cannon soap. I'll treat the roof in two sections, doing the passenger side and the driver's side. And I'll run my mitt from the top of the windshield all the way to the back glass before I hit the trunk lid. Now the next sections I would hit would be the top of the trunk and kind of the top of the back side of the trunk. And the next section would be the lower part of the trunk and the rest of that bottom bumper. And at least the last section in this video would be the front of the vehicle. Now you'll notice I kind of focus the foam gun quite a bit in the front bumper, and that's due to the fact that I want to make sure that if I missed any bugs, I have some extra detergent just to remove it with. Now similar to the back, I'll go ahead and split my hood and my windshield in two sections, which would be the driver's side and the passenger side. Now lastly would be the bumper, and I would make sure I'll just run my mitt as loosely as I can over my painted sections of the bumper. However, when it comes to the plastic grille, this is the only time I would apply a little bit of pressure just in case there was any bugs or grime sticking to the plastic. But this would be the very last thing I would clean on the car in my opinion. I honestly don't think the 2-bucket method is overkill, especially if you spend hours polishing your car, especially when it came all swirled up from the dealership. I did not put as much pressure. Probably mentioned that already in the video. Once we run the whole entire wash mitt on the vehicle, just kind of like the foam cannon soap, we'll start from top to bottom and take our time rinsing the vehicle. Good note is when all your suds are gone, usually on the body of your vehicle, that tells you that you've completely rinsed all the soap off. We don't want to leave any of those suds because those suds can possibly still have contaminants, and when you go dry your vehicle, may swirl up your paint. Now after rinsing your vehicle, if you have a leaf blower, definitely use it. Make sure you got one with a rubber soft tip just in case you accidentally do bump your vehicle, you don't scratch it. But in my case, mine died, so I'm going to show you how to do it without a leaf blower. Now the size of your microfiber really does help in this instance. However, I'll post the links below where I got this microfiber or where you could find one similar, but you do really need a very plush microfiber. With that being said, I just wanted to point out that when you're drying your vehicle, again, no pressure. Let the microfiber do the work and let it soak up the water. The only place where you should really allow pressure onto your microfiber would be cleaning the glass. Lastly, if you do drop your microfiber, just note that if you really do care about your car's paint, that microfiber will now be officially trash. Another tip here is if you got a flat surface, definitely throw that microfiber across and drag it, and it'll grab that water without putting any pressure on your flat surfaces. I probably learned this method online, but it works really well. Now, once I've dried the body of the vehicle, the last thing I would need to do is to dry my wheels. Note that you'll see that I'm using a different microfiber, and this is honestly a really cheap microfiber because worst case scenario, I could toss this thing if it gets really mucked up by the brake dust. One good little trick, especially if you have streaks of water coming from, say, a fuel cap, definitely open it up and try to pat out as much water as you can. Especially right there in the seams where there is a lot of water, you just want to take a light pressure and try to soak and let that water air dry. Once everything is dried, in my honest opinion, I think the last final touches would be adding some tire shine. Now, this tire shine I got from Costco, and if you let it sit for 30 minutes on your tires, there is very to little no tire sling onto the body of the vehicle. But here we go is essentially a nice, clean Lexus. So, there's a thing here. If you kind of notice, there's some minor blemishes here and there, and this is why I do these washes. You know, I be very careful not to make any scratches. One, I'd like to have any protectant that I have on here. So this is Adam's 1-year ceramic car coating, and honestly, I might change that product. And since I live here in the state of Washington, I might hit up Griots and see what they got going on, because I don't know if you can see right here, and you know, I follow the instructions pretty religiously, but I don't know, after like 2-3 washes, this is coming up, and yeah, I don't know if you guys could really see it, but so you could see this car, I've been keeping this thing nicely polished, and I've been trying to put as much protectant as I can on it, because now I've got the microfiber here for any water drips that come down because my leaf blower died. But again, a tire shine from Costco, superior products for the wash foam and some basic wash, and definitely do the 2-bucket method right here. You're always going to have fantastic results. And I'm even with the minor blemishes after I've done the polishes, I'm still really happy about it. Let me know what you guys think. So this is Mechanic Built, and until next time.